Hey, this is our new tank, guys. Like we promised, we're going to show you the new tank. Want to talk about this tank, dear?
Yeah, this is going to be our baby grow out tank and breeder tank. I ordered a breeder cage, and the way I'm going to set it up is the mother, Molly, Guppy, Platy, Swordtail, whoever, will be in that tank, and when she has her babies, the overflow will put the babies into this tank so that you don't have to worry about the mother eating the babies. And the babies can grow up in here. And you can have all your babies, the swordtails, mollies, platies, all them together. It's not going to make any difference while they're growing up because they won't eat each other as babies. So as they get bigger, then you can take them out of there and put them into another tank. But right now I've got a plecostomus at the bottom, and we have a female
She's back
female
there.
guppy up in the top right there. And her belly's getting kind of square, and her gravid is getting really dark. So she's about ready to have babies. Now, I had to put her in this tank so she can have the babies in this tank. She may eat a few of them, she may not. But the only reason we did that, put her in this tank, is because I don't have the breeder box yet. So that it gives her a chance to not be harassed by the male guppy. Now, what I did is I went to Walmart and bought some plastic plants so that the babies have something to hide in. So what I did is I took a piece of styrofoam, shoved the plant up through the holes, and bend them over and let the styrofoam float on the top of the water, which gives the babies a place to hide.
Well, now talk about the.
We've got live
I'm
plants
sorry.
also. And Godzilla in the back. But we have live plants so that it takes the bad stuff out of the water, nitrates and things out of the water, and ammonia switches over. It keeps the tank cleaner, and you don't have to worry about the ammonia in that killing the fish.
Tell about the top of the tank.
Top of the tank, I'm going to put a plexiglass top on it. And the trouble with aquariums is the aquariums are cheap, but the lids and lights are expensive. Now this is a $50 tank, but we got it on sale for half price at Petco, this was $24 for this tank. The lid itself, the lid and light, is over $60. So you can do different. And when I get I'm going to put plexiglass top on it with a hinged door. And I can do it a lot cheaper than what I can buy the lid for. So when I do that project, I'll show that too. And once I get the breeder things set up, I'll show you how I'm doing that also. But that's a live plant there that came in on, I think it's either duckweed but it came in on the hornwort when we bought the hornwort. And you also have to watch when you buy live plants, because sometimes, depends on where you're getting them, they'll have snail eggs on them too. Now, I don't mind the snails because the snails do a good job of cleaning the tank and eating the fish poop. So
Now, see how she's acting right now?
yeah, she's shimmying and staying into the corner, which is usually a sign that she's about ready to give birth within 24 hours or so. So hopefully within the next day we should have some babies in here. And I'm sure Ruthie will do a video of when the babies are either being born or after they're born. Because they can have up to 100 and so many fry, but normally with the way they've been breeding guppies and that, and new strains and that, they've been averaging about 30 to 60 babies.
So she's kind of like See how she's moving quick? She's getting more boxy. She's nesting a little bit by moving in the corner, moving quicker. But we'll see what happens with her. And if you have a pet or live bearer that's going to have babies, if possible, put them in their own tank to settle them down beforehand if you can.
Well, if you want guppies, I suggest you buy only the females, the larger females, and look for the gravid spot on the back where it'll have a black under its anal fin. You'll have a black spot towards the anal fin. That shows you they're pregnant. So if you could buy just a couple of females to start your tank, and once they have little ones, there'll be males in with those. So you don't have to buy a male just because you want babies. Because if they're already pregnant, they'll stay pregnant for 6 months or longer, and they'll have because they hold the male sperm in for 6 months or longer, so they can have babies every 30 days. So if you're going to buy some guppies, look and make sure that they're pregnant, or ask the fish store owner if they're pregnant. They'll tell you. And just buy a couple of females, 2 or 3 females. And you'll be quite under your way to be loaded with baby fish.
And because this is a new tank that we just set up not too long ago, and we're getting it set up, making sure the ecosystem and everything is ready, we just have this light here because he's still making the top. He's still getting things set up. So this isn't the full setup, but just so you can see that in a pinch, you can use a light bulb next to your tank to kind of give them some light and to help the plants grow. And we'll talk about the SpongeBob house.
We got that at Walmart. They had this big one, and they had one that was about half this size. This was on sale. The one that was half this size was almost $6, and this one was on sale for $2.50. So we bought the big one. They also have a little SpongeBob that goes, you can buy with it. We're thinking of picking him up too. So
I know that when we did a lot on the plants, a lot of you guys went out and started buying house plants. So if you're interested in doing tropical fish, go out and get yourself a tank if they're cheap where you are at PetSmart, is it? Petco?
Petco.
And you can get one like half price.
They have 10 gallons for $9, and they have 20. This is a 20 tall for $24.
Yeah, so
and they had bigger than that too. They had 50 gallons for, I think they were like $50, something like that.
I mean, you're gonna have to buy all the parts that are in it.
Yeah, you got to buy all that, but we're gonna go to sponge filters.
Yeah.
Which will help keep the water cleaner, and they're a lot cheaper than buying a overflow. Now the overflows you're gonna pay almost $30 for, or sometimes more. And a sponge filter you can get for usually under 10.
And if you have a fish tank, show us your fish tank. We'd be interested to put that up. And I want to talk to you about the Godzilla for a minute. This tank here, we just got the tank. We didn't have background or anything. So we figured out something. If you put something behind it, I mean, obviously this room is waiting to be painted and all that. But it's just like, I mean, isn't that cool? And you could almost change your background every season just by, you don't even have to have a background, It's just like years ago, people buy into stuff. We got talking about, why do you have gravel in your tank? And it's, I mean, we don't in this one. But
we don't in this one because we're going to have babies in here, and you're going to be able to see the babies to clean the tank and watch them grow. But we've got substrate in the other 2 tanks, and the babies will hide in the gravel. If you got bigger fish, they'll hide down into the substrate so that they don't get caught up and eat.
But I guess I say that to say that some people don't like gravel in their tank because it's easier to clean. So, so some things just kind of become a trend too.
It depends on what you're doing with yours, and if you're having a larger fish, you might want some substrate in the bottom.
Well, this is of interest too. By putting this black foam down,
I've got this black foam. Is not black foam, and you.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is a yoga mat that we had sent to us. And I cut it to the size of the tank so that the tank can sit on it. so that it gives it a little bit of give.
But it makes the bottom look like a mirror.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's lots of things you can do, which is just interesting. I thought that was cool, but I hope you guys enjoy the tips. Also, too, he's got a timer, a little plug in here.
Yeah, I leave the lights on for 12 hours. I have them come on at 6 in the morning. They go out at 6 at night. And, which I used to have it coming on at 4 in the morning, but the light, while I was trying to sleep, the light would wake me up, so. But I guess it doesn't matter because I get up that early, and I woke up this morning and the lights weren't on anyway, so. Just starting to get used to getting up at 4 in the morning again.
So anyway, oh, no, one last thing before we let you go. See this dead-looking plant? Explain that guy, honey.
That is Java moss, and because
I'll show that other tank in
the tank behind us.
The next video, guys.
The next tank behind us had green water. And there's nothing wrong with the green water. Fish can survive in it and everything. But
well, they'll see that in the next video.
You could show it.
Well, after this video, I'll do that video.
They won't understand if you put it to a different video.
Well, they'll watch the next video.
This.
Sorry, guys.
This plant is Java moss.
Hang on. The other tank, guys. Okay.
Now that water was totally green, and I put a green killing machine in there, which cycles the water through it. Right now, it's been in there a week, and the green water is now gray. So it's cleaning up the green water. And I put a sponge filter in there, and it'll clear the water right up. But back to this tank. This Java moss came from that gray water tank. And because it wasn't getting any light, the plant started to die. But if you see on the end, the very end of it, you can see that there's green coming back on it. So
we're hoping.
It should be. Well, when we first put it in there and we got it at the pet shop, that has like a wire in it, and it comes in a coil, and you can pull it apart. You can twist it in any design you want. And it was brown like that when we put it in there, and I didn't think it was going to survive, but eventually it started turning green.
Now, also, what's that thing on the end?
That little round thing there?
Yeah. That
is zucchini. And the sucker fish, which is right behind over there, he's a...
Here, oops, I have to hold the phone from that slip in my hand. Okay.
He's a Pocostomus. And he's not the only one. The guppies, the swordtails, they all like that zucchini. And he ate the center right out of it and ate the rind off it. And now it's just a ring, but he'll end up finishing that off within a day or two. But what you do is you have to blanch the zucchini for about 5 minutes. Which, if you don't know what blanching is, you just boil it up for 5 minutes. Take it out of the hot water. Run it under some cold water. Let it dry a little bit on a paper towel or something. Then you can put it in a freezer bag. Put it in your freezer and use it all winter long or whatever. Take one ring of the zucchini out. While it's frozen even, put it on your tank and it'll float for about 5 minutes and then finally it'll sink. If you don't blanch the zucchini, it will not sink. It'll stay floating on the top. So if you want your bottom feeders, your Corydoras, your Pocostomuses, you want them to get some, and the big fish will still go down to the bottom and eat it. You want to blanch it.
She looks like, boy, is she ready. I hope she's ready. We'll see. That's how they act. Sometimes.
They usually stay in one corner and just sit there and swim in one spot.
Yeah, one had babies the other day. She was in there and in the community tank, which is in the previous video. And, boy, all the other fish were around her, and I knew she was having babies because just as fast as she was having them, they were dying on them. But I think 4 escaped, so that was one of the other guppies. Okay, guys, so we're going to wrap this up right here. Remember, big or small, you too can be a backyard farm. God bless.